Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We have just 4 minutes to the beginning of the training. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So nice to see everybody. Please, if your friends are not here, this is the right time to tell them to join. Tell them to join. We're starting in just about 4 minutes. If you can see my screen, please give a thumbs up. Let me see if everybody can see my screen. Good morning. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Let me see if I can start my video as well. Okay. All right. Good morning, everybody. Pardon what my video is looking like. There's power outage. I can't turn on the alternative power source generator because of the noise interference. So manage me like this. All right. Thank you. All right. I see more people joining. I see more people joining. Please prompt your friends, to join. All right, good. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Okay, so as we all know, today we're going to be talking about creating a business plan. So I just want to do like a quick, brief introduction into the training, into the course, why we are learning about creating a business plan, right? Because I mean, it's very essential, and I find that it's one of the things that as business owners, some business owners do not prioritize in starting their business. When you're starting a business, we know that okay, I want to start selling this and this, I want to make profit, but what is the plan? Right? Because there's a popular saying that says if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But unfortunately, a lot of business owners do not even, put a business plan down. There's the idea in your head, which is fantastic, right? But it needs to be written down. It's very important for you to write it down. Now, I'll give an analogy. There's sometimes that you're thinking about something in your head and you're like, okay, this is a good plan. This is what I would do. And then you decide that, oh, you know what, let me even write it down or let me even type it out. And then once you start typing it out or you start writing it down, some more ideas begin to flow in. That's number one. Sometimes you're also thinking that, oh, this thing I thought would work. Now thinking about it again while you're writing it down, you're like, oh, I don't think it will work. I think this is a better approach. So that is one of the other benefits of having a business plan, right? Because it helps you to put things in proper perspective. When you're thinking about something in your head, sometimes you don't have the full picture until you start putting it to paper. So that is why it's very, very important for us as business owners to own and create a business plan. Very, very important. So I'm just going to give 1 more minute for every other person to join, and then we're going to get into the conversation proper. Like I like to say, this is us, bouncing knowledge off of each other. It's not just a training, it is a class for all of us to, learn, relearn, unlearn some new things. So this is just us sharing knowledge, right? It's a knowledge sharing class. So, okay, I think that we are starting right about now. It's 10 a.m. already. Okay, so what are we going to be learning today? What's the agenda? We're going to be defining business plan. What is a business plan, right? And we're going to be talking about why it is important. I already mentioned some of that while I was giving the introduction to the class and to the topic. So why is a business plan important? Why do you need a business plan? What are the elements of a business plan? And then how do you create your business plan? How do you even we'll conclude on the class. So that is essentially what we'll be doing today. Okay, so let's get right into it. So, what is a business plan? A business plan is a detailed document that describes your business. It describes what your business is about. It tells you, it talks about your business, your product or services. If it is service provision business, your target market, your strategy, how you plan to reach your customers, your organizational structure, your financial prediction, everything about your business. Like it's like a storybook about your business, so to speak. But it's not an entire book, like a synopsis about your business. That if I look through your business plan at a glance, I should be able to know that okay, this is what this person offers. This is who they are offering it to. This is how much they intend to make or they project to be able to make from this business. This is what the profit margin is going to look like, right? This is what the organizational structure is from the face of your business plan. So that is essentially what a business plan is. It tells the story of your business. Now, why is it important? Why do you need to have a business plan? First of all, it attracts potential investors or lenders. A lot of investors or lenders will not even give you, they will not even, give you a hearing if you don't have a business plan. They need to be able to see that it is a viable business, right? They need to be able to see that it is something that you yourself believe in. It's something that there's because your financial projection is on the face of your business plan. So they're able to say that okay, this is something lucrative, this is something that we can put our money into, and there'll be returns on investment, there'll be profit for us because this is what the person envisaged. And of course, it's not unrealistic. Again, it's not just for you to put pen on paper and write something and say, oh, by faith. Of course, faith is important, but it has to be a realistic projection through your, you've done your methodological research, you've already, done your financial projections, you've done your market survey, you know what obtains in the market, realistic projections. So when they see that, when, investors and lenders see that, financial institutions see that, they are able to have more trust, and they're more willing to lend you money or invest in your business. Again, it helps you yourself understand your business better. And that's what I was saying earlier about when you start writing about it, you have the idea, but when you start doing your business plan, you realize that, oh, okay, I think that this thing I was thinking may not work. Maybe this is a better approach to it. Or, oh, I think this is an additional thing I can add to it, right? Because then you're giving life to the idea, right? When it's just in your head, it's just an idea. Sometimes you even think about something in your head, and then what you have thought about, you think, oh, this is brilliant, this is fantastic. And then the next 2, 3 days, you've forgotten what you're thinking about. But when you write it down, even if sometimes your brain hides it in the recess of your mind, when you go back and read it, you remember that, oh, yes, this is this brilliant idea that I wanted to also add to this. So, and then again, it helps you to understand the business a whole lot more. It helps you to understand the business a whole lot more when you read it to yourself back and like, okay, yes, this is what this business is really about. Like, this is what I can do to actually pursue this business and actually make it in this business. Now, it allows you to plan your business activities because you know that we also mentioned that your business would contain your strategy to reach out to your customers, who your customer base would be. So it helps you to plan. Okay, how do I reach out to customers? How do I get customers? How do I reach out to my target audience? Right. This financial projection I have made. How do I how do I even achieve it? How do I attain it? Right? So it allows you to plan your business activities, and then it allows you to foresee potential challenges. You are able to foresee potential challenges because also in your business plan you have your SWOT analysis, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and then you also have you're able to also juxtapose. Okay, what are the other people doing this business? What are the potential challenges? What do I need to do better for me to be able to reach customers? Right. So you're able to foresee the challenges in the business, and then you're able to proactively forestall those challenges. So of course, I mean, you're not a soothsayer or a mind reader that would know that, oh, this is everything that will happen. But you're able to reasonably foresee some of the possible challenges, and then you can put steps up for you to be able to, face those challenges before they come, or even when they come, you're able to combat them heads on. So those are some of the importance of having a business plan. Now, what are the elements of a business plan? We have the executive summary, and we are going to go into all of these elements in details. Essentially, that's what we're going to be looking at throughout this class, the elements of a business plan. Now, an executive summary is like a brief overview of your business plan. It highlights your company's mission, your product, your services, and all the basic information about your leadership team, your your employees, your location, your growth plan. All of that is included in your executive summary. And then we have the company description. And this is a detailed information about your company. right? What is the nature of your business? What are your business goals? And what's your company's legal structure? Is it registered as a business name? Is it a company limited by shares? Is it a company limited by guarantee? That is what is contained in your company description. How many directors do you have? you know. So those are the components of the company description. And then now you have the product and the services. And of course, this is like a detailed description of what you offer, your product or your service. It includes the information, life cycle of the product, intellectual property rights, research and development activities, if it applies to the type of product or the type of service that you are selling. All right. And then, of course, you have your market analysis, which is the information about your target market. What are your customers' needs? What are the needs that you're meeting? Right? What are the market trends? Is there any competition? What are they already doing? What are you doing better? And then this is where your SWOT analysis also comes into place. And your SWOT analysis is just an initialism for, or is an acronym rather, for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Right. So we're also going to go into those details as we go on in the class. And then you have your marketing and sales strategy, right? So now in your marketing analysis, you've already identified your target audience. Now, in your marketing and sales strategy, you're planning how to reach those target customers, right? And this includes your pricing strategy, your promotion strategy, distribution channels. How do you mean to reach them? Do you want to use retailers to reach them? Do you want to sell to them directly? You know, and what are your sales strategy in general? Now, we'll go to the organizational structure. And this is the breakdown of your company's organization, including the management team, employees. Now, in the company description, you're going to, of course, talk about that a little bit. And then now in the organizational structure is where you go into details as to what the company's management team is like, the employees, their roles, their responsibilities. If there's a board of directors, if you're a company, should also include their details in the organizational structure. Now, the financial projection that, like I mentioned earlier, and this is a detailed forecast of the company's financials. So it's a forecast because it's not something that you've achieved already. It's not something that, oh, I already have this. This is what we're doing. It's a forecast. Like you're saying, okay, if we do this and we do this and we do that, and we put this together, this is how much we aim to achieve, or this is how much we're reasonably able to achieve in the span of so and so period. Right. So it includes your income statements, your cash flow projection, your balance sheet, and this section should most importantly provide a clear picture of your company's financial health and growth prospects, right? So, what is the financial health and how do you intend to grow? What is the possibility of growth? How much are you able to expand in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year, in the next 2 years? That is what your financial projection contains. And then, if you're sending the business plan out to investors or to lenders, you should also include your funding request, right? So if you're seeking for funding, this section would specify the amount that you're looking at, how the funds will be used, and the type of funding that you're seeking. If it is a loan or if it is equity, right? So a loan is where you lend money, or rather you borrow money, and then you pay sometimes in installments, and you pay a premium on it, right? You pay an interest on it. Now, for equity is where the person invests in your business and you give them a share of the business, right? So, I mean, that's a topic for another day, but those are just the types of funding that are available to business owners. And then it should also have an appendix, which is a section that contains supporting documents, right? Supporting documents that validate the information you provided. So, for instance, if you are into production, you produce, let's say you produce dried fish, for instance, dried food, for instance, should include pictures of maybe your workshop where you have your dehydrator or your oven, what it looks like. You could include pictures of the products themselves, right? Include pictures of your staff at work, just to support the things that you have mentioned earlier. It's like the visual representation of the things that you have spoken about. If you're into services, you could include pictures of your space, pictures of your clients, of your employees at work, right? Clients, pictures of your offerings. It could be maybe like a flyer of what you offer and all of those things. Those are just ideas of the things that should be contained um, and your appendix. It could also include the market studies, right? Because you've said that, oh, you've done some research and that's how you arrived at your financial projections and your market analysis. So if you did an extensive research, you could also include it in your appendix so that it is a whole lot more convincing, particularly when you're sending out to investors, right? You could also include your target markets, the target market studies, resumes of your key team members, legal documents like your CAC documents, contracts. If you have a contract, if you are relying on a contract, and that is why you're, sending out the business plan to an investor or a lender, you can also, include the contract, right? So, for instance, if you are saying that um, I produce, let's use the same dried food that I have said, right? I say, oh, I produce dried food and all of that. And I have a contract with an off-taker in the US for me to export to them. And they would be selling it in the US. However, I need funding to be able to expand the production. I need to get more materials. So he's saying, oh, I need to get more materials, I need to get more machinery to make the work easier or to make the work faster. We were able to produce about 500 pieces before. Now we need to be able to produce up to 2,000, and we need to expand. We need to get more staff, right? So you need to also include that, oh, if you're saying that, oh, we have a contract with somebody, you should include the contract so you're more believable. So these are some of the things that you should have in your appendix. All right, so let's go into the details. Let's go into the details. So, executive summary, I already said this is a brief overview of your business plan. It's a brief overview of your business plan. It is usually the first thing. I mean, it's like the first thing that people see, it's the first thing they read when they open your business plan. So, it is very important for you to make it compelling and clear. All right. I'm getting information that people want me to slow down. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to, okay, yes, thank you. I'm going to slow it down a bit. I also just don't want to keep us here for too long. I want us to be able to keep to time. We need to be done with this by 11:30. But yes, I'm going to go a bit slower. So, like I said, tips for a great executive summary, you need to keep it concise but engaging. You don't want to write something too long. You don't want your executive summary to be running into 2 pages, right? You need to keep it very concise, very brief, but engaging. Let them be able to understand, like from the face of your executive summary, let them be interested in reading the rest of the business plan. The truth is, if your executive summary is not engaging, most people already make their decision, particularly when you're sending it out, right? When you're sending it out to potential investors, potential partners, potential lenders. From the face of your executive summary, they can tell already if they want to invest, if they want to partner with you, if they want to lend you the money or not. So this is where you need to put all of the details. Make it short, but let it be engaging. Let them be able to say, oh, you know what, I want to keep reading this and see where this person is going from the face of executive summary. You need to use clear and simple language. This is not the time for you to bring out the dictionary and use all these, difficult words and try to impress, right? Because again, nobody has time to be bringing a dictionary to try to understand what you're trying to say. Or this is not the time for you to start using all the in-depth terminologies that your investors may. I mean, sometimes your investors are people that are in the industry, sometimes they're not. So you need it to be that if anybody, even a layman, is reading your executive summary, they can understand what it is about. Because again, there are even some investors that they may not even be learned. I mean, maybe they can write, but they're not, they have some money to play with, they have some money to spare, but they're not interested in reading all of your technical terminology. So keep it simple, make it clear and simple. Now, highlight what your company is unique about. Like, let us know what your unique selling point is, right? Let it show why your company is worth investing in. Of course, when you're sending to investors, to lenders, they've seen a lot of business plans. They've probably even seen something similar to what you're doing. But this is why you need to make yourself unique, make yourself stand out. Why you need to research. Because when you research, you look at the people that are doing the business before you. What are they doing right? What are they not doing right? How can I make it better? What is their approach to marketing? How can I make my own different? All right. And I'll give an example of the movie industry when it comes to marketing. Before now, when movies come out, there used to be like a jingle for the OGs in the house, the millennials. There'll be a jingle and they'll be like, oh, grab your copy now, and all of that. And that was an era, right? Now you realize that, oh, somebody started when the movie comes out, they come, they do a lot of promotional videos, they dance. And then before you know it, a lot of people, producers, actors, when they come out with a movie, they come to the internet, they promote it, they do short skits around it, they dance and all of that. And this is because they've done their research to see that, okay, you know what, this is what calls people attentions now. Sometimes they even put like, excuse me, they even put like a snippet or, a trailer, bring a trailer out, something that would, grab people's attention. So I know that this is unrelated. I'm just trying to let you know how you can do your market research for you to be able to bring a unique selling point to your own business, to make it different from other people, and also to make it, stand out, right? Because there was somebody that came up with the, oh, you know what, I can actually come to the internet and promote this, and it will be done before other people started doing it. So you need to be unique. You need to do your research. You need to, and again, because business owners own the business, particularly if it is a company, is a person on its own, but there's a human being behind it. And your unique character, your intellect, your uniqueness needs to also shine through the business so that your business is able to stand out. And it's not just like every other business that is doing the same thing, across the world or across the country where you're doing it. So this is those are the tips, right, for having a great executive summary. So, what are the formula for a great executive summary? What do you need to have in your executive summary to make it unique, to make it fantastic? You need to have a company statement. All right. So you start with a strong, concise statement that explains the basic details of your business. What do you do? And why do you think the business will succeed? So the company statement would include the goods or the products that you're making or the goods that you're selling, the services that you are rendering, and why do you think that it will succeed? So that's where you convince them that, oh, due to so and so, we've done the market research and we have realized that there's a gap, in maybe baby clothing, to say that, oh, it's not unique and all of that, and this is what we are bringing to the table, right? And then it should also include your business mission. So you need to clearly state what your business's mission is. What are the goals? What do you aim to achieve with this business? And then it should also include your product and your service. So the details. Now, of course, in the company statement, you've mentioned the product or the service. And now in the product and service part, you're giving details about the product or the service that you're providing and how they meet the needs of your customers. So in company statement, I've said, oh, I let's use the dried food that I've been using. I like to stay consistent so that it makes sense. So let's say that you say, oh, I produce dried food stuff, for instance. You've said that in your company statement. So now in your product and service, you say, oh, I produce dried catfish, dried fish, dried meat, smoked goat meat, and I send it abroad. And this is how it meets, my client's needs. A lot of, even if you don't send abroad, I say, oh, a lot of my customers are business women who are also homemakers, or they're career women who are also homemakers, and they do not always have the time to have to go to the market and cook and everything. So when they have these dried ingredients at home, it's easy for them to just bring it out and easy to cook easily, and it makes life easier for them. So you sell the product, say that, okay, this is how this product serves the customers that we are selling it to. And then you have to talk about the customers you're selling to as well, which are your target market. So you have to describe who your target markets are. Like I said earlier, you say, oh, they can be career women who are homemakers. If you're and I like to always make this distinction, right? That most times your target markets are not always your customers. Like they're not always the people that use your product, so to speak. Your target market is not always the end user of your product. Now, the example I always make is if you sell items for children, right? It is children that are going to use the product, but they are not the ones that would buy from you. They don't have the financial capacity to buy from you. So who you are targeting are their parents, their fathers, their mothers, the people that are the primary caregivers to these children are your target market, not the children themselves, right? So you have to also understand that it is not the end users. It is not always the end users that are your target market. They are the people that have the financial capacity to buy from you. Those are your target markets, right? So that's very important to distinguish. Now, it needs to also contain your company details and achievements. This is where you brag about what your company has achieved. Introduce your company, the leadership team, where it is located, and major achievements or milestones. So this is where you say that, oh, we started this business, particularly when you're sending this out. And again, it is important to know that your business plan that you keep for yourself should necessarily be different from the business plan that you send out. It needs to be more detailed. You can have the same details for your own business plan, which is fine, but it has to be very, very detailed, right? So when you're sending it out, this is where you put your company's details and your company's achievements. Where you say, for instance, that, oh, we started this business say 6 months ago, and in the 6 months we have a customer base of say 500 customers, 700 customers, 1000 customers. We've been able to make so and so in income. We've been able to make so and so in profits, right? And this is where you just brag and say that, oh, you've, so even if, like, for instance, if you've maybe sold to a very high end customer, this is the time to say that, oh, you sold to so and so person or so and so cost business, right? This is the time to mention that, oh, you have a contract with an off-taker abroad to export. So this is where you highlight your achievements. Now, financial highlights include an overview of your financial prediction. How much do you intend to be able to make in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year? So what is the expected revenue? What is the profitability of the business? What are your growth plans? And then your investment need, particularly when you're sending this out to investors or to lenders. You need to include how much you are earlier that, for instance, the food business abroad, and you don't have the capacity to, we are able to currently dried goat meat per say per week, and we need to be able to extend to produce 7,000 per week, right? So we need to get more machineries, we need to get a dehydrator, we need to get a industrial oven. We need to get more employees. We need to get more hands on deck to be able to do this. We need to be able to also source ingredients and raw products from more farmers or from more vendors, right? So these are some of the things that you would need to include in your investment need. All right, so this is just trying to look at an example of a good executive summary. So this person is Healthy Bites, and the executive summary reads: Healthy Bite is a startup offering locally sourced organic meal kits in Lagos. Our mission is to simplify healthy eating by delivering fresh, nutritious ingredients with easy to follow recipes. We've identified a growing demand among city dwellers. This team, led by two accomplished chefs, ensures the quality of our meals. With a projected 40% increase in revenue in our second year, we seek 100,000 naira, sorry, $100,000 in funding to expand our delivery radius and double our customer base. Now, this executive summary, like I said before, is concise, is engaging, and it contains every of the elements of a good executive summary that we have spoken about. It has the statement, it has the mission, right? Our mission is to simplify healthy eating. It has the mission, it has the product and service, right? Which is nutritious ingredients, um, delivering fresh, nutritious ingredients with easy to follow recipes. It has the target market, city dwellers that value nutrition but are pressed for time, right? And it also has like the company's leadership, led by two accomplished chefs, right? It has the financial highlight, projected increase in revenue of 40%, and also has the investment need, seeking $100,000. So you see that this is short, but it contains everything the good executive summary should have. Now let's look at the bad executive summary. This person says, we sell meal kits. We don't even know the name of their business. They never even tell us what their business is about. We sell meal kits. Our food is healthy and we source it from nearby. People in the city are our customers. Which people in the city? What are the differences? What makes them unique to you? What makes them the people that you are targeting? You cannot be targeting the whole world, right? Our team is good. Who are the team members? We don't know them. How do we know if they are good? We want more money to do more business. How much more money do you need? What am I giving you? What are you asking for? This is a very bad executive summary. It tells me nothing. An investor would look at this and just throw out your business plan, say this person not see, and juxtapose between a good executive summary, what your executive summary should look like and what it should not look like. People in this class, your executive summary must, it's not even should, must never look like this. It needs to be concise, it needs to be engaging, and it needs to contain all of the elements of a good executive summary. Now, let's talk about yeah, so let's talk about your thoughts about these two summaries. What are your thoughts? What do you think that the second person should have done better to make this the summary, the executive summary, a bit better to stand out? What are your thoughts? I want to see our thoughts. I want to see our thoughts. Okay. Somebody wants me to go back and show the two. So this is a good executive summary. It has the name of the company. It has the statement of the company. It has the mission, the product and the service. It has the target market. It has company details, the leadership team, the financial highlights, and the investment need. This is a good executive summary. And then this is a bad executive summary. So now I want us to also look at it ourselves and say, okay, what do I think about this executive summary? If you have a business plan, let us know what your executive summary looks like. Is it like this bad executive summary or this good executive summary? And then again, what do you think should have been contained in this bad executive summary that would have made it excellent like the previous one? Thank you. So it says the first one is outstanding. Somebody says the second one is not specific. You think some achievements should have been added. Thank you. Should have elaborated more. Second person should have been precise. So that's the thing. The second person was even too precise. Oh, sorry, like too short. The person was not precise. Yeah, you're right. Second person was not precise. There was no company name. We don't even know what your company is about. No target market, nothing. It was too vague. Yes, it was too vague. So that was a comment from Laurentine. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Yes, Sorry says that the person didn't quantify the need in terms of money. You just said, oh, we need more money. What is more money? How do I know how much you need? Right? It was not detailed at all. Irene said the person should have at least added the name of the business. Exactly. First one is detailed, second one is too vague. No business name, no product. Exactly. So it was too vague. That was not it is an executive summary, but it should be detailed. Can you say zero details and mission zero? Second one had no substance. Exactly. So we know what our executive summaries should not look like. So let's get back into it. So let's review the good executive summary, like we have already said. The good executive summary was clear and concise. It had all the relevant information about the business and the mission, the target market, was there, the team was there, financial highlights was there, requested funding usage was there, and it had a compelling story with unique highlights of the business. Now, for the bad executive summary, it was not clear and concise. No relevant information as to the business and the mission. no target market, no team, no financial highlights, no requested funding usage, no compelling story, nothing, right? And again, it's not enough that, oh, okay, at least my executive summary is clear and concise, but I did not put my target market, I did not put my team. If it is even clear and concise, it's supposed to include all of this information, right? You cannot say, oh, in my business executive summary, I included the target market, but I didn't include the key team members. You cannot say, oh, I had the key team members, but I didn't even put the financial highlight or the target market. Your executive summary, to make it a good and outstanding one, has to contain all elements. All of need to be contained, right? Um, and then the company description. So this is the second element, right? We have spoken about the executive summary. Now we're going to the company description. Now we're talking about the company description, right? And your company description, it provides detailed information about your company. It goes into details about your company. It would include your company name, the product or service that you offer, your company's legal structure. So is it a sole proprietorship? Are you the only one involved in the business? Is it a partnership? Is it a corporation? Is it a company limited by shares? Is it a company limited by guarantee? What is the corporate structure? What is the legal structure? This is where it should you should contain your you should have the details of your business structure, right? So, and then you need to present your business goals. You need to include your business goals. What is your business about? What is it that you want to achieve with your business? And your goals should be SMART, right? And SMART is also an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. If you notice, I've been saying that, oh, when you're doing your financial projection, you're saying, oh, we intend to be able to get to so amount within the next so and so time, which is the time bound. And you're specific, it is measurable because you're giving a specific figure to it. And again, I said that it needs to be realistic, which is what they mean by achievable. So your goals have to be SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Now, what are the tips for a great company description? First, you need to be precise and to the point. We've been saying precise a lot because your business plan is not something that's supposed to be 10, 15, 20 pages. No, it's just a short, it could even be 3 pages, 4 pages, 5 pages, where you're including appendix. It doesn't have to be a book, right? So you need every component of it to be precise and straight to the point. You don't need to be going about the bush to say, oh, I started this business because out of hunger and strife, I looked at what I had gone through in the past and I said, never again. No, this is not the time for you to, we know that you're trying to be compelling and tell a story, but this is not the time for you to spin around the web and try to, you need to be precise and to the point. And then you also need to highlight what sets your business apart. I mentioned this earlier. Highlight what sets your business apart. All right. So, for instance, if you have like a patented product, in the former class when I taught this, I was saying that let's say, for instance, you um, produce something that, yes, I think I remember what the example was. So, let's say that you produce a self cleaning tabletop gas cooker, right? This is not something that I think is in the market. And maybe this is something that maybe when you finish cooking, there's a mechanism that just wipes it down and cleans your tabletop gas cooker. Or maybe you know, industrial for you right after you finish cooking. Once you turn off the knob of the gas, something comes out, it. There's soap. There's this microfiber. People that are have a business in their homes don't have to bother about, oh, I need to clean my gas every time. There's something that just does this for them automatically in your business plan, that, oh, I have this product that I have made and it is patented. Like, which means that I am the only person that is licensed to produce it. Nobody else can legally produce this product, right? That also gives your investors a reason to say, oh, you know what, this has potential for growth because you have monopolized the market. You're the only person producing it. So whatever price you are selling, you don't have a competition. Do you get? So which is a selling point. So if you have such product, this is the time to mention it. If your product is or your service is solving a unique problem that is not commonly solved, this is the time for you to mention it, right? So let's say, for instance, um, you're saying that, let's say it is a service, right? And you're saying that, oh, this service is we organize a get together for corporate individuals to come together once a month to relieve stress. There's going to be a therapist, there's going to be games, there's going to be networking, which is something that a lot of corporate individuals don't get the time to do. You don't get the time to relax and play games and even see a therapist because of course we know that the world can be very, very daunting. Corporate world can be very daunting. So this is then for you to say, okay, this is what I do, and this is the unique selling point that we sense. You can even include your research here that we've sensed that 20% of um, corporate individuals experience burnout, 50% experience burnout, and it is due to so and so. They do not have time to network, they do not have a community, and this is why we have brought this to place. And if you've started the business already, you can say, oh, in the last 6 months that we have started, we've had so and so people attend, and we've recorded better communication skills, better networking between them. A lot of people are less burnt out because they're able to share their experiences with people that can relate to it. They have a therapist that they've been talking to, right? So these are some of the examples of having a great company description. Include your unique selling point. Okay, so the third part, after you've included the executive summary, you've included your company description, the next thing is your product and services. Again, this is where you go into details. Describe your offerings, provide the detailed descriptions of each of the product or services that you offer. Now, emphasis on each, right? So if, for instance, you have different products, again, let's go back to the food production business, right? So let's say that you do dried fish, you do smoked goat meat, you do what else do we produce? You do maybe blended egusi, blended crayfish, and all of that. You need to itemize them one after the other. If you are a service, and let's say for instance you are a spa, and we do deep tissue massage, we do facials, we do manicure and pedicure, because these are different service offerings, so you need to list them out one after the other and give short details about each and every one of them. And again, identify your unique selling points. Go into the details about what makes you stand out from every other person doing similar business to you. Now, okay, so let's ask questions. Please put your questions in the Q&A session so that we can answer any questions. Any questions? I'm not seeing our questions yet. Okay, so it looks like we're good to go. But if you have any questions while we're in, just you can feel free to drop it in the Q&A session. I see that moderators have been answering the questions. Thank you, Christiana. Thank you, Joy. Thank you. All right. Okay, so let's get straight back into it. So the fourth thing that needs to be in your business plan is your market analysis. And what is your market analysis? It is a detailed study of your business's market. including your potential customers. So I always say that when business owners are starting a business, you need to become a researcher. You need to do detailed research as to what the market is, what is the current revenue. Look at business reports, look at market analysis, look at research that people have done as to what the industry, what is the income capacity of the industry, right? Who are the people that your competitors are selling to, right? What are the trends? Now, another example that I usually give is when you do your market analysis, is that it also helps you to see what you have not seen, to think about the things that you have not thought about that you could do for your business. Now, the example I give is say you're a makeup artist, for instance. So that is your service. You do makeup for people, and you've always done the glam, Owambe, wedding makeup. And then you do your market analysis and you realize that, oh, people that do SFX makeup, they actually do make a lot of money. And you think, oh, I'm also very artistic. This is something I can do, right? It's also a matter of interest and capability. So you don't always have to do what everybody's doing. But when you realize that, oh, okay, this is something that I can do, the people that do SFX, that special effects makeup, they're the ones that would make a young person up to make them look old, or make somebody up to make them look like they have bonds and all of those things, right? And they do that for movies, they do that for stage plays, they do that for costumes and all of those things. I realized that, oh, this is something I can do, and there's a lot of money in it. So I can have my glam Owambe makeup going on and still be able to delve into this, right? Again, even if it is not special effect, all of the actors on screen, and I mean all of them, even the men, have makeup on because they need their faces to look brighter for the camera, for the lights. So particularly, I mean, for the men, they don't have to have all the lipstick and everything, but they have some form of a bit of foundation, a bit of powder, just to make their faces pop, right? So you could think about that. Oh, I mean, instead of my target audience, and this is where again target audience comes to play. You could say that, you know what, I think I want to make this my niche. My target audience is going to be the directors and the producers of these movies. Now, we're not making up the directors or the producers. The makeup is going to be done on the actors, but the actors are not your target audience. Do you understand that? So, I mean, that's another form of, realizing your target audience is. But what you're talking about is doing your market analysis to realize where you can also fit into in the market. That, okay, you know what, I've been doing glam and Owambe, but I could also do movie makeup and target directors and producers for them to come and bring me on board to do the makeup of the people on screen, right? And then you could also delve into special effects makeup if it is something that you're interested in. So that is what market analysis helps you with. So the importance, like I said, it helps you understand the demand for your product or service. It helps you to identify opportunities and threats in the market, and it helps you to inform your pricing and marketing strategy. So there are some times that, and I'll use an example of goods and services. So let's say that you are a retailer of perfumes, for instance, right? And then you're like, oh, I get my perfumes for cheaper. I get it directly from the perfume house and I get it for way cheaper. So let's say that, for instance, now you're getting a perfume for say 10,000 naira, and you're like, oh, if I sell this perfume for 15,000 naira, 18,000 naira, that is a lot of gain. And then you go and do your market research and you see that the average that anybody is selling that perfume is 30,000 naira. Now you realize that you would have been shortchanging yourself or shortcharging yourself if you had been selling it for 15,000 naira. So now you can still decide that, oh, my price is going to be lower so that I get more customers. But it is not going to be as low as 15,000 naira anymore. If you're seeing that the average is 30,000, like some people are even selling for 30 something, 35, 38, you can make yours 25, 26, right? You're still making a lot of income. But then you're also getting more customers because they see that, oh, they can get it for a bit lesser price from you. So that's what your marketing analysis helps you with. It also helps you to know what your pricing structure should look like, what your marketing strategy should look like. When you know who your target audience are, you know how to market to them. So, for instance, if you are marketing to if what you're selling is to Gen Zs, for instance, you know that a lot of Gen Zs are not on Facebook, so you're not going to be putting your ads on Facebook as much, right? You'll be targeting TikTok, you'll be targeting Instagram, you'll be targeting X, that's former Twitter. So it also helps you to know how to properly market your business, your goods, or your products. Now, let's talk about your target market. These are the specific group of people that you want to reach with your product or your service. I've said this earlier that most times your target market are not the end users of your product. Most times your target market are not the end users of your product. So you need to define the demographics. Is it nursing mothers? So let's say that, for instance, you're selling this some formula, some pads that helps with expressing more milk for women. You need to define them. Oh, my demographics are not nursing mothers, right? You not just say, oh, my demographics are women in general. I mean, if I'm not a nursing mother, I would not be bothered about something that would make me express milk. So I'm a woman, of course, but this is not what I need at this point in time. So sometimes your demographics are very specific. So you say, oh, nursing mothers, if you're producing, let's say you're producing food products as well, right? Dried food and everything. Sometimes your target market may not be everybody. You cannot say, oh, my target market is everybody. You could say that my target market is people in the diaspora. You could decide that, oh, I just want to export. You could also say, oh, it's for career individuals who do not have time to always cook raw meals every time, right? So you need to be able to define your demographics and know who really needs your business. You cannot sell to everybody. I mean, if you can, if your business is the type that you have several different products or several different goods that cater to several different demographics, you need to define that. Now, understanding their needs and preferences. You need to understand the needs and preferences of your target market. Now, I was saying that if your target market are nursing mothers, you know their needs. Nursing mothers are thinking that, oh, maybe the ones that they are not able to express milk a lot, or we are selling all this milk espresso because they are career women, they need to express milk for their children before they go to work and all of that. You need to understand the unique need and the preferences, right? So let's say, for instance, you've seen that people are complaining a lot that, oh, there's some milk espressos that they use and it hurts them and it's painful. And if you know you are producing something like that, you can say that, put it into consideration that, how do I make this better for these women? How do I make it less uncomfortable? How do I make it more comfortable for them to express, in the sense that they can even be doing that and be doing other things at the same time? So you need to understand their needs, their preferences. What is in the market? How is it meeting that need? What is the gap? And how do you fill that gap? Then also survey your potential customers. You can put out a survey. The world is a very global village now that you can just put out a survey online, ask people to fill, ask them, if you were to use this product, how would you prefer that it is produced? How do you prefer that it is made? What are the, like, if this product is given to you, what would you hate about it and what would you like about it? What would you prefer that it looks like? And that would also help you to shape how you go about producing or um, giving the service out to your customers. And then again, study industry reports for insights. I've mentioned this earlier. You need to study industry reports. You need to know what obtains in the market and know who your competitors are targeting. If you want to target them, if you want to expand your reach, if you want to make yours more niche, then doing these industry reports or studying these industry reports would help you to do that. Now, let's talk about industry trends. What are industry trends? They are patterns, they are movements in an industry over time. They are the things that have been seen to commonly happen in an industry over time. And this can include technological advancements, changes in customer consumer preferences, or broader economic changes. Um, One of the examples I made earlier on in the training was the movie industry, for instance, where before it used to be jingles where you say, oh, grab your copy now. And now it has moved to people, marketing on TikTok, doing short skits to market it. These are industry trends. So somebody, somebody or a group of people will start it and then it becomes the norm over time, right? So if you're not doing your research, if you're not looking at what the industry trends are, you're going to be left behind in this very fast pace and fast moving world. So you need to keep tracks of industry trends. And how do you keep track? You need to regularly read industry news and reports, join industry associations, attend conferences, network, engage with customers and experts on social media. So, like I said earlier, that when you ask your customers, because at the end of the day, they're the ones using your products the most. Sometimes you, the business, may not even be using your product as much as the customers are using it. So they know a bit more about the product and how it works than you do. So ask them for feedback. Or when you use this, how did it work? What were the challenges you faced with it? And then you at least that gives you information on how to improve on it for the future. So it's very important. Um, read regular industry reports, join industry associations, attend conferences. Conferences would open your eyes to a lot of things that you do not even know, right? Because there's some giants in the industries that will probably come for those conferences and they will speak about how they started, where they are right now, how they got there. And it's just broadens your horizon as to, okay, I can also achieve this, or I can also do this. Oh, this person started even worse off than I started, and look at where they are now. It also encourages you, right? So those are very important. Now, let's go into your competitors analysis. What is competitor analysis? It is understanding your competitors, including their strengths, their weaknesses, their strategies, and their offerings. Now, it is very important for you to know what other people in the same industry are doing. Like I said earlier, it helps you to understand them, to know their strengths. It also opens your own eyes to the things that you could be doing, but you are currently not doing. Now, how do you analyze your competitors? Identify your main competitors. Now, it's not everybody that is in the same industry as you that is your main competitor. Let's say, for instance, you're into the food processing that I've been talking about. You're into food processing. There are a lot of people that are into food processing. But some people, maybe um, they freeze dry fruits, for instance. It's food processing, but they are not your main competitors. They're freeze drying fruits to resell to people that make cocktails and all of those things. That is not what you do. So they are not the main competitors. You could decide also again in the future that, oh, you know what, I can also do this, I want to move into this. But at the point in time, they're not your main competitors. Your main competitors are people that are also doing dried catfish, that are also doing smoked goat meat, also exporting. All right, those are your main competitors. So you need to identify your main competitors, examine their products, pricing, marketing strategies, right? So look at their products. What makes it different from yours? Because another thing is that when you look at some people, you say, "Oh, their pricing is more expensive than mine." Oh. So let me just increase my own as well. But you don't know what the quality of their product is. You don't know if the the quality is better. So let's say, for instance, now in the global world, in the Western world, where they prioritize things that are ethically sourced or homegrown, naturally grown. So let's say, for instance, they're saying that, oh, our own catfish, we always go to the river to go and source them. So they are wildlife catfish and all of that, and it's more expensive. And yours are something that we feed them, that they grow inside the pond and all of those things. Sometimes the price difference may differ because, of course, it takes more manpower, more time for them to go to the river. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying this particularly. I'm just giving an example, right? As the possibility of difference in the products. So when you're saying I'm doing my marketing research so that I can know how to price this, you also need to look at the quality of the product. So for instance, let's say you're even doing dried fish. Let's use that as example again. Some, of course, catfish, the sizes also vary. So you cannot say that because, oh, this person is selling our own catfish for 50,000 naira per box. I also need to say, now let me just do maybe 40,000 or 45,000 naira per box so that it is a bit lesser. Meanwhile, the quality of what you're making is not up to what it is. Your own catfish is smaller and the quantity is not as much as what they're putting in their own box. So you also need to examine the product itself and their marketing strategy. And then you need to analyze their online presence and customer reviews. Online presence is very important in this day and age. It is very, very important. If you're not online, it's almost as if you do not exist. Right? If your business is not online, it's almost as if you don't exist. It's not everybody that would be able to come to your brick and mortar store to buy from you. They may never know about you. It's only the people around that would know, or your friends and family that would know. So you need to bring your business online, right? And look at their customer reviews as well. What are their customers saying about them? What are they commending about them? And then how can you make your own products also better? And then identify areas where you can outperform them. When you look at their customer reviews, when you look at their product, you can now look at it and say, okay, this is what they are doing. I think I can do one better and make myself better than them, right? Because that is your unique selling point. That's what makes you different from every other person that is doing the same business. How do I make myself better, right? Um, so let's say, for instance, let's say you're a makeup artist and you have looked at your fellow makeup artists and they're like, uh, they do their makeup, or maybe they don't do gele. I mean, before, makeup artists used to do both makeup and gele. These days, you will see that they'll say, "Oh, I have a gele artist." So you can say that, "Oh, these days, I mean, they've separated it. I want to do makeup and gele, so that when you come to me, or maybe even when I come to your house, I can do your makeup and do your gele. Every other makeup artist is only doing makeup." Or you can say that, "Oh, I'm doing makeup. I have a studio. I also want to include, um, I want to employ an esthetician. An esthetician is like somebody that is versed in skin conditions. They can do your facials. They can help you with sunburn and all of those things. So when they come to your studio and say, "Oh, okay, when I finish doing my makeup, I can come back here and also get my skin looking good and all of that." That's one of the ways that you can outperform your what's it called? Outperform your competitors, right? Because even if when you're doing makeup, like for every painting is a good canvas, right? Every painting is a good canvas, and your skin, your face, your skin barrier is your canvas for makeup. So this is the way you can market it and say that, look, if your skin is popping, like you don't even need too much makeup, minimal makeup, and you're looking, extra good. So these are just some of the options, some of the ideas, to outperform your competitors. Now let's talk about your marketing strategy. What is a marketing strategy? A marketing strategy is your plan to reach your potential customers, is your plan to influence your potential customers into buying from you. It includes details about your pricing, then promotion and distribution. So you see a lot of businesses doing promo, or buy two get one free, and all of those things. Those are your marketing strategy. Now, an example is a fast food chain might use a cost leadership strategy, and I'll explain, this strategy. So you offer your competitive pricing, and then you promote value meals to attract budget conscious customers. Now, cost leadership strategy is when a company tries to be the cheapest option in the market. Look at the likes of Chicken Republic. You know that, oh, you can always get food from Chicken Republic. At some point it was like 1,015. Now for like 2,026, you can get full meal chicken from Chicken Republic. Yesterday in the office, I still got food for about 1,000 something, and I had rice, chicken, coleslaw, all for that price. So that is cost leadership strategy. Now, the business finds ways to make things at lower cost than their competitors. So the the way they cut costs is like they buy in bulk. So they try to buy in bulk, they try to use efficient machine, or they cut unnecessary expenses. So one of the like the example I was given before about the perfumes, right? If you're a if you're a perfume vendor, and let's say that you're buying directly from, okay, and say that you're buying directly from the perfume houses, so you're buying for cheaper. It is easy for you to do um a cost leadership strategy, because you know that, okay, I'm cutting a lot of unnecessary expenses. I'm cutting out middlemen. I'm getting directly from the source. My cost is cheaper. So if everybody's selling for 50,000, I can afford to sell for 45,000. I can even afford to sell for 40,000. I'm still making good profits, and people can always buy from me, right? So because of this, they can sell at lower prices, and then they can also keep a normal price and earn more profits. So these are the two options. You can sell at lower prices, and people would come to you because your price is lower. You can also decide that you want to sell at the same price that every other person is selling, and then you're getting more profits. And sometimes your customer is still split across board from your competitors as well. So that is, an example. So an example is Walmart, right? And Walmart, they sell products very cheaply because they buy in bulk. They buy in huge amounts, so it keeps their cost very low. Another example that is relatable to Nigerians is Globalcom, right? They have cheaper data rates than their competitors. So most times people will say, "Oh, let me just quickly do data on my Globe because it's cheaper." So those are the examples. So how do you create a marketing strategy? How do you create a marketing strategy? First, you need to analyze your strength, your weakness, your opportunities, and your threats. Analyze your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your strengths. So, like I said earlier, we have the your strengths, you have your weaknesses. So, what are your own strengths? What makes you different? What are the things that you are able to do that a lot of other people are not able to do? You need to analyze that. What is your weakness? How do you overcome those weaknesses? What are the opportunities available that you have not tapped into in the market? And how do you tap into them? What are the threats? How do you combat those threats? Again, you need to also understand your customers. Who are your customers? What do they want? Right? So, for instance, if you're selling to, you say your target audience are women, you're selling women clothing, so narrow it down to say, oh, we're selling corporate clothing, right? So you understand understanding your customers will let you know how to create your marketing strategy. So let's say, for instance, you're selling to women, and you're not just selling to women, you're selling to corporate individuals, to people that go to the office, people that go for conferences and all of that. So you're marketing to them, you're letting them know that, oh, this makes you stand out, this makes you unique. This is the power suit that will get you that contract, that will get you that deal. There's a way you speak to your target audience depending on what they need, what their needs are. So the example I have here, a boutique clothing store might cater to fashion forward women in their 20s and 30s who value sustainable fashion, right? So you need, like, okay, you know what, I need to produce sustainable fashion. The example of the career women as well. Let's say, okay, yes, in 2020 and the years before, everybody was going to the office. Most people were working from the office. From 2020, a lot of people started working from home. So people are working from home, but they still want to wear something comfortable. They still want to feel confident because, yes, they're at home, but they're entering into meetings. They want to feel powerful. And they say, oh, we're introducing lounge wears, right? Clothes that you can wear at home, but you could also feel comfortable to jump into a meeting and on put on your video and you're still looking good, right? So you need to understand your customers, again, analyze your SWOT and your SWOT, identify your unique selling point. You've spoken about this over and over. You need to identify your unique selling point, what makes you different. Then determine your marketing mix. The marketing mix is the type of marketing strategy that you want to do. So there's content marketing, influencer marketing, social media marketing, relationship marketing. Relationship marketing is, when you have a good relationship with your consumers, your buyers, your customers, and then now start giving them like loyalty card. So that, oh, when you buy from me, then after maybe 5 purchases or 6 purchases, you would get one free clothing or one free item, right? So that's relationship marketing. Social media marketing, of course, you know that influencer marketing is partnering with influencers, people that have a wider reach for them to help you. And then content marketing, of course, you creating content around your business. So you need to determine your marketing mix. Again, set clear, achievable marketing goals. Your business income cannot be, say, 200,000 naira per month, and you're trying to use 150,000 naira for marketing. You need to be able to set clear, achievable marketing goals. And you need to also, because you're trying to reach customers through your marketing, it's not for you to say that, because I spent this amount of money, I want to be able to reach 50 million people, right? You need to be able to say, okay, we can reach 50 more people this week. We can reach 100 more people this week. Let it be achievable. And then choose your customized marketing tactics. Like I said earlier, what do you want to do? We have cost leadership. There are different types of marketing tactics. Cost leadership, differentiation. Do your research, and you'll be able to know which one works best for your business. Now, marketing strategy implementation. Example: suppose you're launching a new organic skincare product line. Your marketing strategy includes social media promotion, influencer partnerships, in-store events, right? So you need to also know how you're going to implement your marketing strategies, right? Very, very important. Social media promotions can be done for almost every type of business. In fact, every type of business. Social media promotion can be done. Influencer partnership can also be done for almost every type of business. Now, if you have a store, in-store events would also help to create footfall into your business. And one example that I always give is, let's say for instance, you have a cafe. You sell, you have a small cafe where you sell coffee, you sell snacks, for individuals to just come in and grab a bite. One of the good things is maybe you have the cafe around a corporate area where there are a lot of offices during their lunch break. They can come. That's great. An in-store event that you can have around that is to say that, oh, you know what, I'm creating a book club every weekend. So you have realized that, oh, there are a lot of people that come here and they're like, oh, I want to even be able to. I don't have time to read. I don't have time to do this. Maybe if I have a lot of people that I'm reading with, it would even encourage me. So you could also start and say that, oh, you know what, we're going to have book clubs every weekend, every Saturday. Come in, we'll come together, we'll pick a book for the month to discuss.
Just hold on a bit. We'll have her back soon. I think she's having network challenges.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. Sorry, sorry. Yes, you cannot hear anything. She has a little of network issue. Just hold on a bit. We're going to rectify it in few seconds.
Okay, sorry about that. I lost my network, but I'm back. Please confirm if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me.
Welcome back, Simi. We can hear you.
Yes, we
All
can
right.
hear you now.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Christiana. Okay. So I was saying that hosting in-house events, I was talking about terra culture. So you would go there, you would see a stage play. While you're there, they're passing menus to you. You don't even need to say, I'm hungry. They're already, nudging you. They're passing menus to you, drink menu, food menu for you to look at, So while you're there, you're even paying like to go and watch the movie there, to go and watch the stage play. You're paying to enter to watch the stage play, but they're
Hi,
also getting.
Queenie. Sorry to cut you. We can't see your screen.
Oh, okay. Okay. Please confirm if you can see it now.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so I was saying that then you're paying to see the stage play, you're also paying to buy food from them, and that is just one of their own marketing strategy as well. So you can find a way to inculcate this into your own business to attract customers, to bring people, particularly if you have like a physical store. Now, understanding sales tactics. Sales tactics are the methods that you use to sell your products or your service, right? Examples of the tactics include understanding your customer's buying process, building customer relationships, increase sales value through upselling and cross selling. Now, I'll also explain the upselling and cross selling. So, upselling is essentially when somebody comes to your store and they say that, oh, you know what, I want to buy. Let me use perfume again because I like perfumes. So let's say that somebody comes to you and says that, oh, you know what, I want to buy this perfume I've been seeing, Girl of Now. I've been seeing it everywhere. It's been on my TikTok or my For You page. I want to buy it. I want to smell like everybody says that when they wear it, they smell powerful, and I want to feel confident. I have a contract I want to go for, and I want something that will make me feel confident, right? You're like, oh yes, this will make you feel confident. It's very good. But you know what? There's this other perfume, and when we have a tester or a sample, it make them smell it, and this is very, very unique. It's going to make you feel very powerful. You're going to be very confident when you wear this perfume. I mean, this one that you want to buy is 100,000 naira, but this one is just, if just a fraction higher, it's just for 120,000, 150,000 naira, and you can buy this. Now, the person came into your store planning to spend 100,000 naira, and now from upselling, you've convinced them to spend more than they were, what they wanted to, right? So you've upselled to them. Now, cross selling is and then let me give you another example of upselling. So for people that use iPhones, right, you can go to the store and say that, I want to buy an iPhone XR because that's what I can afford. It's all about it. Let me just buy an iPhone XR. They say the camera is good and everything. And then you get to the store and the person says that, oh yes, iPhone XR is good. But why don't you try a 12 Pro? It has these extra services. It has this extra things that you can do with it and all of that. The camera is better. Because you're asking them, oh, what do you want to use the phone for? Are you a business owner? And say, oh, yes, I'm a business owner. Oh, your 12 Pro's camera is a whole lot better. You can do so effects on it. The iOS is greater and all of that. And then you don't think about it and say, oh, so how much is the XR? Oh, XR is, say, 300,000. How much is the 12 Pro? 12 Pro is 390. Like, I can squeeze out another extra 90,000 naira, right? And then they've upselled to you. Now, cross selling is when the person you go into the store and you say that I want to let's use the same Apple or iPhone. I say, oh, I want to buy an iPhone. I've been hearing about it. I mean, I've been using an Android all this while, but I have some money. I want to start using iPhones and all of that. I say, okay, what iPhone do you want to buy? You tell them the iPhone you want to buy, and then they sell to you, and they're like, you know what? It is always best when you pair your iPhone with an iWatch. That way, it can even notify you if your phone is not with you. It can notify you, and then you can also count your step. If you're a fitness person, it is perfect for you. And then person says, "Oh, I think that's good." And then you're like, "Oh," and again, you can also, buy the Apple AirPods. They are better paired because there's noise cancellation, and you can pick your calls, and you can do this, and you can do that. And the person came into your store just to buy one thing, but now they're leaving buying two, three, or more items. Using the perfume example as well, the person comes in and says, "Oh, I want to feel powerful." Now, instead of upselling, which is what I had described, that you sell them something that is like an upgraded version. Cross-selling is you saying that, yes, this perfume is very good, but if you layer it with this other perfume, it's going to be monster level. Like you're going to enter, and everybody would wonder who has entered. Now she came in wanting to buy just Girl of Now, but now you said, oh, buy Carolina Herrera as well. It's going to be very nice. Combine them together. You even spray them when I reach. She smells them. She sees how the two of them combine and how heavenly they smell. like, okay, you know what? Let me just buy these two. So that's cross selling. Cross selling is you convince people to buy like extra products that complement the one that they came in to buy. Upselling is you offering them an upgraded version of the product. So those are some of the sales tactics that you could use. Again, of course, we talked about building customer relationships. You know that a lot of businesses succeed based on referrals. People saying that, oh, you know what, buy from this person, they are very good, they're reliable. It goes a very long way. It goes a very, very long way. So those are some of the sales tactics that you can explore. Then outlining your growth strategy. Identify your growth opportunities. Where is the opportunity to grow? You know, and then evaluate the financial and operational implications of the growth. Of course, growth does not come cheap, it does not come free. There are some times that you need to expand. For instance, for the food business that we're talking about, imagine if you started with one industrial oven, you have one sealing machine and all of that, and you want to grow, you want to expand. Of course, you cannot grow with just that same one industrial oven that you have been using. It's going to slow down your process. So now you are going to think about, okay, I need to get an extra machine, maybe even a bigger one than the one I already have. I need to get more sealing machines to be able to seal this product. I need to get a lot more certifications so that I can enter into other markets, right? So you need to evaluate how much it's going to cost you to be able to do that, and then maybe put a plan to how you want to do it, which is the most important one that you want to do now, because sometimes you're not even able to do all of those things at the same time because it is very, very expensive to do it. It's capital intensive. So you may say that, okay, no, let me first buy this extra oven. Let me start from there. Then when I buy the oven, after from the profit, I maybe because my demand has increased, so let me buy more an extra oven. When I'm able to sell and make more profits, I'll get this certification first because I want to enter this market first, and then after that, maybe I'll get an extra sealing machine that can also make the process faster. So you need to create a plan for that, and that is what where we mean by create a step-by-step plan and then implement, monitor your progress, adjust the strategy as needed. So after you've made the plan, you need to start implementing it. You have planned that, okay, I'm going to buy an oven first, buy the oven, monitor the progress. Okay, with this extra oven now, I'm making so and so more products, we're selling more, the profit has increased. Now, if there's any lapses, maybe, maybe I shouldn't have done this yet. Maybe I need to now do this more. Let's say, for instance, you finish buying the extra oven, and your plan was that after buying this oven, I will now get this ISO certification, for instance. You don't think about it that, I've gotten this oven now, but it's just one sealing machine I still have. And it's now making it difficult because I cannot seal on time and the fishes are getting soft. Because you started implementing, you would realize some of the errors in maybe the plans I even made. Now you now have to reprioritize and say, okay, I need to get a sealing machine first before getting this ISO that I wanted to get. So readjust your strategy as needed. Now, what is your growth and strategy implementation plan? Example, suppose you own a successful artisanal coffee shop in Nairobi. Your growth strategy is to expand your business by opening a second location in Mombasa, leveraging the city's demand for unique coffee shop experiences. What would your strategy be? What would your implementation plan be? First is to identify the opportunities. And of course, in the example, the person has identified that, oh, I think Mombasa is a city where I could get more customers. People would be more interested. There are more career people. There are more corporate individuals that would come in during their lunch hour, during their lunch break to have coffee. There are some people that want to come into the coffee shop to have a short business meeting over coffee. You've identified that opportunity. Now develop a plan. How do you plan to do it? Okay, we need to first go there to scout, get a place close to where things are happening, get a place close to the central area, right? And after that, I need to also scout for people that I can employ locally. Because if you're not employing people that are there, you probably need to now provide accommodation and all of those things. Those are the things that you need to plan. So, okay, what people that what are the people that I can employ locally? Who are the people that can manage this place even when I'm not there? Okay, I'm stationed in Nairobi. Somebody would manage the coffee shop in Mombasa. You're looking at the people that you can market to, the offices, the clients. So you develop a plan and then you begin to implement. So after you have developed your plan, that okay, I'm going to get a place, you implement, you go there, you look at you shop spaces, office spaces, you speak with agents, you look for a central area, you get a shop there, you pay the rent, you start doing the decoration, making it look good, start employing people, you start putting the word out, oh, we are here, we are open, and all of that. You start, giving people testers or just giving, oh, come in, or do like even an opening event, like you had mentioned earlier. And then you monitor and adjust, like we said. If there's anything that you have planned that is not going according to what you planned, monitor it and adjust it to fit into what the reality is. So, do we have any questions? Questions before we go ahead? I want us to round up on time. All right, no open questions. Okay, thank you, thank you. I'm seeing the reactions. Thank you. Okay, so let's go into the next part of it, which is organization and management team. Now, this is where you tell us your business structure. Are you a sole proprietorship? Is it a partnership? Is it a limited company? Is it a corporation? And I'll explain this very briefly. So, particularly in Nigeria and a couple of other African countries, you're either registered as a business name, and your business name is either a sole proprietorship, which means that it's just one person, or a partnership, which means there are two or more people. It could also be a limited liability company, limited by shares or limited by guarantee. And this gives your company a corporate structure when you are registered as a business, like as a limited liability company. What differentiates a limited liability company from a business name is that your business name is essentially still you. That's why it's called a business name. Like, okay, it has a name, but not a personality. So you are running the business. What you have secured is the name of that business. Now, if you're running a company, if you are registered as a company limited by shares or limited by guarantee, then if you are registered as a limited by shares or limited by guarantee, your company has a separate legal structure. It's a separate entity, different from you. So let's say, for instance, you buy the office or the space of the shop that you're using for your company. You buy it, and you can buy it in the company's name. You don't have to buy it in your own in your own name. So the property could belong to that company. It can own properties. A business name, however, cannot own properties. So even if you are buying it outrightly, if you're buying a shop outrightly for your business, you cannot buy it in the name of that business. It has to be your own name, because that business doesn't have a separate, like, personality. But that's a topic for another day. It's just like a brief explanation so you know the difference. So in your organization and management team, you need to include your business structure. Are you registered as a sole proprietorship? Are you the only person running the business? Is it a partnership? If it is a partnership, who are the partners? Who are the people that you're involved with? If it is a limited liability company, who are the directors? Who are the shareholders of the company? Even if you're not including the shareholders, it is important that you include the directors, because those are the leadership team of the company. Also include your employees, your key team members, right? So we saw in the good executive summary where the person said that, oh, we have two chefs, right? Of course, there are other people, but those chefs are the key team members, key management team members. So even if you're not including all of your employees, all of your team members, include the key management team members. So an example is, we have Jane Doe, the CEO. She has 10 years of experience in the cosmetics industry. Jane oversees overall strategic direction of the company. This way, when anybody is looking at your business plan, they're like, okay, the business is also in capable hands, right? This person here has included that she has 10 years of experience. So which means that she's not just a newbie, she knows what she's doing. Do you understand? So this is why you need to include your management team, your organization team in your business plan, because it also tells the investors, the lenders, the partners, or the people that you're trying to work with that the business is in good hands and has good structure. Now, your financial projections. This serves as a roadmap for you to follow as you develop your business. It's also a signal to potential investors that there's profitability in your venture, that your business has the potential to grow, right? So, what are the key elements? Your income statement, your cash flow statement, and your balance sheet. These are the things that should be included in your financial projection. So you need to show your investors, show your lenders, show your potential partners that you have the trajectory to grow, that you have the potential to grow, to scale the business from what it is right now to a greater level in the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, as the case may be. Now, what are the key elements of your financial projections? That we mentioned earlier, your income statement, your cash flow statement, and your balance sheet. Now, your income statement shows your revenue, your cost and profit for a specific period, and it illustrates your business's profitability. It shows your revenue, it shows your costs, and your profits within a specific period. So maybe within a 6 months period or within a 1 year period prior. It illustrates how profitable the business is or the business can be. And then your cash flow statement, it shows how cash flows, you know, in and out of the business. It indicates that your business is liquid, the business liquidity, the income and the expenditure of your business is what the cash flow statement contains. And then your balance sheet, which is essentially a snapshot of your business's financial position at a specific point in time, like how much your business is worth, what the financial position is at that point in time that you are, sending out the business plan. So these are the key elements of your financial projections. And of course, these statements could also be attached to your appendix when you're sending out your business plan. Now, crafting your funding request. We said that it is important when you are sending it out to potential investors for you to properly craft your funding request. So you need to include your funding amount. So you need to clearly state the total funding needed. Ensure this aligns with your financial projections and is justified by your business needs, right? So it's not just for you to say that, oh, I need to send so amount. You need to justify it. Why do you need that amount, right? And how does that contribute to your financial projection? If you're playing at this level right now, and let's say right now, because you have just one industrial oven, your financial projection is 20% in the next 6 months. If we give you this funding and you're able to get an extra industrial oven, is the projection going to increase? What is the difference in the income then and the income now after you get the funding? And it needs to be justified by your business needs. Why do you need to get an extra oven? All right. So if you have one oven and you're producing 500 and your production capacity or the demand has not increased, why do you need to get an extra one? So it needs to be justified by your business needs. For you to say that, okay, we're producing 500 before, but now demand has increased. We're getting demand for about 100,000 pieces every month. We're getting demands for 500,000 pieces every month, and we need to increase our capacity to produce. Then that is justified. So you need to put a justification. It needs to be justified by your business needs. The utilization of the funds, right? That's when you're not saying that, okay, so the reason why I'm asking for these funds is that I need to buy an extra industrial oven. I need to get more staff. I need to apply for this certification. I need to buy extra sealing machine. I need to get a bigger space. And then the benefit to the investor indicates the potential return for the investor. So if you're seeing that, oh, there's going to be ROI after 6 months of so and so percentage of what you have invested, or if, oh, I'm going to be giving you equity in my business of say 5%, 10% ownership of the company, or if, oh, I'm going to be giving you such extra benefits as to, can even include, oh, benefits as to the products that you're selling. I say this all the time, that it's also an avenue for you to make your investors into your customers. You can also say that, oh, an added advantage, aside the other advantages, is that whenever you buy from us, you get a 10% discount. Even if the person was not planning to buy from you before, right? Sometimes they just think that, oh, okay, that's good. And then when the need arises, they just say, oh, you know what? I have a 10% discount somewhere. Let me buy from them. Or maybe somebody just speaks to them and says, I am even looking for where to buy so and so. And they're like able to direct them in your direction and say that, you know what, I have a 10% discount with them. Tell them you're from me, something like that. So that is also a way for you to convert your investor also into your customer. And then utilization of funds, the allocation. Provide a detailed breakdown of how the funds will be allocated. Now we have a pie chart here that shows, okay, half of the allocation is going into equipment, right? So we need to buy the industrial oven. That is half of the investments going into that. And then marketing, because yes, we need to be able to make up to 100,000, but when we buy this machine, we may even be able to make up to 500,000. So which means that we need to reach more people than we already even have. So we need to also, you know, do some for marketing, and then inventory as well. Or we need to keep some money for inventory, and then some other money for contingencies, things that we did not foresee. We need to keep some money for that, right? So that is one of the ways to show the allocation or the utilization of the fund. You can, of course, also make use of a pie chart like this to visualize the allocation to your investors or funders. Now, your appendix, it includes any additional supporting documents. Like I said, your marketing study results, partnership agreements, patent certifications, if you have licenses and permits, if you already have, say, your SON or you have NAVDAC, this is a good place to attach it. Photos of your product as well. This is a good place to attach those. And then again, please always update your business plan. Update your business plan regularly. Update your business plans regularly. It is a living document. It is a living document that should grow as your business grows. So if your projection at the beginning of your business was 20%, after 5 years, it may have increased to about another 40%, right? So always update it. Your target audience could have even, increased. Maybe before you're only making products for nursing mothers, and you've extended it to making products for both pregnant and nursing mothers, and you've extended it to even making products for maybe surrogates, or you could keep expanding, right? So you can always update and edit your business plan to show these changes and these developments. Now, creating a business plan, let's take this quick case study. The business name is Affy Crafts, and the idea is Susan, a skilled bead maker in Johannesburg, South Africa, had a dream. She wanted to share her passion and skills with the world through Affy Crafts, a business selling handmade African craft items. Her target customers were both local patrons of art and international tourists interested in authentic African crafts. Now, what's the problem? While Susan had the skills and the idea, the challenges that she needed to understand her market better. She needed to identify and define her marketing and sales strategy. She needed to have a business structure. She needed to also manage her financials and secure funding for her business. So what did she do? She she began her journey by understanding her market. So she understood that, okay, her market are locals from Nairobi, which are about 60% of her customer base, people that are in Nairobi that they really like crafts and art. And then 40% of her other customer base are international tourists that are traveling from particularly the US and Europe, coming into Nairobi, to stay. And then, of course, because they want to go back with souvenirs for their family members, or, they're interested and fascinated by our craft and they want to purchase. So she identified that those are her customer base. And then what did she do? She laid out a marketing strategy in her business plan. She utilized Instagram, where she had a potential reach of 1,000 followers in the first year. She attended 10 local art fairs and cultural festivals. So she was able to network and get more people and also understand how people are doing their own business and making it. And then she formed partnership with 5 local boutique souvenir shops in Nairobi and Mombasa and 2 leading hotels. So she realized that, okay, the locals, they buy from these boutiques. So let me partner with them and send my products to them for them to sell. And then for the hotels, that is where the tourists are mostly, where the tourists are staying. They will stay in hotels and they can also go to the hotel and buy from them. So she also partnered with 2 leading hotels, right? So those were the solutions that she did to up her business. Now, a financial projection and funding. She had to develop a detailed financial projection. So she created a table with her startup capital, her recurrent expenses, how much it costs her to run the business per month, and the expected revenue per month, right? And with all of that, she was able to craft a funding need at 1.2 million. Now, Susan's clear, detailed financial plan and funding request helped her secure a loan from Kenyan Women Microfinance Bank because she had everything that was needed for her to be able to secure a loan, secure investments. Now, the result is that with a comprehensive roadmap in her business plan, Susan successfully launched her business, AfriCrafts. She met her projected revenue within the first year. She expanded her customer base to over 3,000 individuals. And then there's a 60-40 split between locals and tourists as a customer base. What are the key takeaways? Susan's journey with AfriCrafts showcases the power of a well-drafted business plan. Her meticulous planning and projection allowed her to secure necessary funding and guide her business to success. This case study serves as a practical, a real world example for every entrepreneur to understand the value of detailed business planning. Right. So we have gone through this journey of Susan's business so that you have an example of what drafting a well detailed business plan can do for your business. Do we have any questions before we round off this class? Any questions? Yes, every business should have a business plan. So I'm answering Kidist Ketema. I hope that I'm calling the name correctly. Every business should have a business plan, be it small, be it large. We had explained that it helps you to also understand your own business better. It helps you to be able to see what is wrong and what is right with your business. So you, even if you're a small business, you need to have a business plan. And then Mary Mumbaya says, so to prepare a business plan, you have to first start it and know it well before writing it, because the example given shows that the business owner has 10 years of experience. So having 10 years of experience in the industry, and that was just an example. This example of having 10 years of experience was when I was talking about the organizational structure, the leadership team, the management team. So that one was just saying that, okay, this person that is managing this company has 10 years of experience. It doesn't have to be within that company. It could be outside of the company. You could have worked elsewhere before. Do you understand? So it doesn't have to be that you start first. I would even advise that before you start your business, you have a business plan. And that was why I said that it is a living document whereby as your business upgrades, as your business grows, you also update your business plan. Right. So you don't have to necessarily start the business before you have a business plan. You can write your business plan even before you start. In fact, it is advisable that you write your business plan even before you start. Can I see the slide of the study case again, please? That's about 5 slides, and our time is fast spent. But this is also streaming on YouTube, so I'm sure that you can go back on YouTube. You can just, maybe fast forward it, and then you will definitely see it on YouTube. Okay, I think I already answered the question, so you can just go back to YouTube because we are already like 8 minutes beyond the time I'm supposed to spend. So you can always go back to that. What if you have a business plan and it's being implemented by someone else? What can you do at this point? If you have let me understand that if you have a business plan, but somebody else is already doing the same business, if that's what you mean, the sky is big enough for everybody to fly, right? That's why you need to have your own unique selling point. What is the new thing that you bring to the table? I'm hoping that that's what you mean by if you have a business plan in your mind and somebody else is doing it. Please go ahead. The playing field is very, very wide. Please go ahead, have your own unique selling points, bring your own unique twist to it, and you will succeed. All right. Okay, so I think that we have answered the questions. We have answered the questions. Okay, so I also have a few questions of my own, but time is fast spent, and I'm sure that we have actually taken time to also listen to this training, and everything is clear. So I'm not going to take too much of our time taking the quick assessment anymore. But I want to say a very big thank you to you for riding with me, for joining this call. All 250 people that stayed to the end of the call. I know that at some point we had about over 300. We have 250 people ending with us. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining the live. I appreciate it. And I hope that we've been able to learn a thing or two. I hope we've been able to learn a thing or two from this session. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you to my moderators as well. Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you, Christiana. Thank you, Joy. I think Joy was also moderating. Thank you for helping with the questions. Thank you, everybody, for joining from all over the country, from all over the continent. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I think that we can end the class now. Oh, wow. Now that we've ended the class, I have lights. This is, well, yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words. And thank you for being attentive students as well. Thank you and goodbye, everybody.